Okay, guys, I'll get this loaded up for you right now, and then we'll go from there. So, let's get my pen going. Here we go. All right, so I need, there's my point, sine, cosine, tan. So sine equals y over r, cos equals x over r, and tan equals y over x. So since I have these points here, I have negative 8, 6. That's an x, that's a y. I don't have my r, but I know that that is 6 and that is negative 8. So r is the root of 6 squared plus 8 squared, which is the root of 100, which is 10. So I've got y and my r equals 10. So now all I got to do is fill these in. Sine is 6 over 10, or 3 over 5. Cos is negative 8 over 10, or negative 4 over 5. And tan is 6 over negative 8, or 3 over negative 4. Excuse me, I have to let the dog out. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Let's continue. An angle is in standard position such that cos is 1 over 9. So, cos is positive, so it has to be in CAST. It has to be over here, and it's 1 over 9. So there's my 9, there's 1. There's my 9, there's 1. So now all I got to do is find what theta is. So I have to do shift cos of 1/9. That equals, I go over to my calculator, on shift cos 1 divided by 9, close brackets, equals 83 degrees. So theta equals 83. So there is 83. So what's this? Well, that's 360 minus 83. So that's 282. Oops, I lie. 277. Let's just check because I'm getting tired. 360 minus 83. 277. There we go. What is that? All right. Okay. That was Trig review. Oh, I missed number 2. Sorry, guys. Dummy head. Marco is 450 due east of the center of the park. Ray is due south of the center of the park. What's the expression for the distance between the boys? There's the center of the park. Marco is 450 due east. So there's Marco, 450. Ray is 450 south, minus 450, because south is down there. That's how far apart they are. Now, you guys know these are the same, so the correct expression for the distance between the two boys is the square root of 450 squared plus 450 squared. So that would be fine. Or whatever you want. You could do them, 450 squared plus 450 squared. You could also say it's the square root of 405,000. And you're not going to get a square root of 405,000. I don't imagine. No. So that's all we needed. Okay, you've already seen that. So let's move it along. The 0.57. So I've got -5 and 7, which means I've got an x and a y. And I'm going to draw it. -5, -5, and up 7. So there's my triangle. Now, I want all three for angle A. So that's angle A, all three of them. Well, so then I need this radius, which is the square root of 7 squared plus 5 squared, which is the square root of 74. So now I have x, y, and r equals root 74. So now sine is y over r. So that's 7 over root 74. Cos is x over r, which is -5 over root 74. And tan is y over x, which is 7 over -5. Now, there's another angle that has the same sine. So here's my sine. I need that sine. So the radius stays the same, root 74, and this is the only place where the y is still positive. So it has to be right in here. There is B. So I need its trig ratios. Well, if this was -5, this is +5. So this is A, and then sine of B is still 7 over root 74. Cos of B is 5 over root 74. And tan is 7 over 5. Notice that all that's happened is the signs have changed of the other two. Use a calculator to determine them. Well, that's since I need an angle, I got to go shift sine 7 over root 74. Shift sine 7 divided by root 74. Close brackets. Oops, I screwed that up. It's all right. Root 74 brackets. And A equals 54 degrees. Or B, doesn't really matter. So it's actually, the way I've drawn it up here, that's actually B. So A equals 180 minus 54, which is 126. Those are the two. 180 minus 54, 126. So there are the answers there. Without using a calculator, tell me everything that has a sine of -1/2. Oh, God, restart the program. All right, so sine is negative. So, oops. Where is sine negative? C-A-S-T. So it has to be down here. So it has to be this way. 2, 2. If the hypotenuse is 2, and the opposite is -1 and -1, I need to know these two angles. So there's my thetas, right? So I got to do shift sine of -1/2. So let's get that going. Shift sine -0.5, because I know it's 0.5. That gets me -30. So I know theta equals 30. But this theta, which I will call red theta equals 360 minus 30, which is 330, and black theta equals 180 plus 30, which is 210. Let you guys have a look at that for a while. All right. Cos A is 12/13. That's positive, C-A-S-T. So it has to be over here. Cos is A over hypotenuse. So my hypotenuse is 13, as it always is. And this part has to be 12. So A, it's in quadrants 4 and 1. B, if the sine of the angle is negative, in which quadrants is the angle? So if the sine is negative as well, then it can only be in quadrant 4, because over here sine would be positive. Sketch a diagram to represent the angle in standard position, given that the condition in part B is true. So that's this guy right here. It has to be this guy. I'm going to highlight it for C. It has to be this. Find the coordinates of any point on the terminal arm. Well, I know I went out 12. So for D, I know I have 12. Now I just need my Y. How do I find that side of a right angle triangle? Well, of course, Y equals the square root of 13 squared minus 12 squared, which is 169 minus 144, which is the root of 25, which equals 5. So the point on the arm, this has to be -5. So the point must be 12, -5 for D. And E, oops, write the exact expressions of the other ones. Well, I've already got sine. Sine equals -5/13. Cos equals 12/13. And tan equals -5/12. Hey, Beth. Okay. I need to find E. Where is E? Right there. So this is cos law, because I got no pairs. So E squared equals... Oh, I lied. I'm the worst kind of liar. I do have a pair right there. So sine 75 over 8.2 equals sine 58 over little e. Cross multiply. 8.2 sine 58 divided by sine 75 gets me E. So I punch that into my calculator. 8.2 sine 58, close brackets, divided by sine 75, close brackets, equals 7.19. Let's go with 7.2. I'll highlight that because that's the right answer. What about this one? Find theta. Do I have a pair? I do. So it's the sine law again. Sine 54 over 5.2 equals sine theta over 5.4. So multiply 5.4 sine 54 divided by 5.2, and all that needs to be shift signed. So I'm going to put it all into my calculator at once. So I'm going to go shift sine. Now I got to be careful here. Bracket 5.4 sine 54, close brackets again, divided by 5.2, close brackets again, equals 57 degrees. Or was it? Yeah, 57.1. Okay, now remember, if you can't do that all in one go, you do just this part first. So you go 54 sine, clear. 5.4 sine 54, close brackets, divided by 5.2. That gets you an answer of 0.840. So you come to here, you go 0.840, and then you shift sine that. Shift sine 0.840, close brackets. There's your 57.
Is trigonometry interesting to you?
Okay. This one.
Plus,
There.
it's already 4:20.
Yes, I know, but we don't need to leave until 4:40. We have to be there till 4:45.
That would leave up till 30.
Don't worry about it. So this is little d. So I need cos law, because I don't have a pair. D squared equals the other two, 8.6 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 8.6 times 12 times cos 55. And I know I got to square root the whole thing. So D really equals the square root of all that. I can do that all at once on my calculator. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Square root, bracket, 8.6 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 8.6 times 12 times cos 55, close brackets, and I gotta close brackets again because for me, I needed to close the brackets off on 55. And I get 9.97. Pretty darn close to 10, of course. And finally here, I need to find theta. So I know that it's cos law because I got all three sides. So since I want to find theta, I'm going to write out the cos law. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Since I want a by itself, I got to get cos by itself. So it's a squared minus b squared minus c squared over negative 2bc will get me cos a. So I got to remember that whatever this is, I got to shift cos it. So it's going to be 24.6 squared minus, doesn't matter about the other two, squared, minus 23.4 squared divided by negative 2, 27.6, and 23.4. So I'm going to do all that on my calculator, and I'm going to shift cos it at once. So I got to go shift cos. Now this is difficult. I got to get the whole top in brackets. So I got a bracket at the top, 24.6 squared minus 27.6 squared minus 23.4 squared. Then I got to close those brackets. Then I got to divide. Make sure I did this right. Cos -1. Yep. Divided by, now this one is -2. It's not -2 times 27.6 times 23.4. Oh crap, I forgot to put the brackets there. So this isn't going to work. Clear it all. I'm going to do this step by step because it's really hard on my calculator. So 24.6 squared minus 27.6 squared minus 23.4 squared equals -704.16 over, I go back to my calculator, -2 times 27.6 times 23.4 equals -1291. Now that I shift cos. So I go back to my calculator and I can go 704, second cos, 704 divided by 1291 Oh, I hit times. Shift cos 704 divided by 1291. 57 degrees. Salvage vessel. The ship on the ground is 143 meters. The boat up on top of the water to that end is 47.5. To that end is 29.3. I want to know how deep it is. So I need this, don't I? I need that depth. To get that, I need one of these two hypotenuses, right? So I can get that with a sine of this guy, except I don't know either of the bottoms. So I've got to use sine law. If I can get that one or that one, I'm good. I'm going to do them both because they both will work. This angle here, I know. Why? Because that blue angle is 180 minus 29.3 minus 47.5 to get whatever it is. So 180 minus 29.3 minus 47.5. 103.2. So this guy is 103.2. So now I have my pair. Sine of 103.2 over 143 equals sine 29.3 over y, the way I've drawn it. And it also equals sine of 47.5 over x. Now I can use the sine law to find them both. x equals 143 sine 47.5 over sine 103.2, and y equals 143 sine 29.3 over sine 103.2. That'll give me those two. Now, once I have either x or y, then I just do regular SOHCAHTOA to find this depth. Remember, depth equals, first I'll do this, sine of 47.5 equals depth d over y. Well, there's my y right there, right? So if y is on the bottom, it's that times that. So if I take my y, that answer right there that I've written out, I haven't even gone to my calculator, and I multiply it by sine 47.5, I'm going to get d, aren't I? And how do I put that in my calculator? Well, that's over 1, so I just add sine 47.5 up top. So depth equals 143 sine 29.3 times sine 47.5, all that divided by sine 103.2. That'll work. So I go to my calculator and I go 143 sine 29.3, close brackets, sine 47.5, close brackets, equals, then I divide that by sine 103.2. And I get 53 meters deep. So the depth equals 53 meters. And then we go on to the last one, which is my man Chang. He's in a bicycle race. So the bicycle race starts at Centerville. Chang goes east 13K. 13. Now, he turns 135 degrees. Well, that's the road he would have taken, but he's going to turn 135 degrees and head northwest. So he's turning back to go that way. So this is the 135 degrees. So what's this in here? 45 degrees. So then Chang heads up this way for 18. And then I want to know this part. That's how he finishes. So I got to find the total length of the race. Well, I got two sides, so I need the third side. So I'm going to call that A. That's coastlaw. A squared equals 18 squared plus 13 squared minus 2, 18, 13, cos 45. I punch that all into my calculator. Remember, I need to square root it all, and I get 12.7. I did that to death today. So this side is 12.7. So how long's the race to the nearest tenth? So that's A is going to be 18 plus 13 plus 12.7, which is 31, 43, 43.7. And then B, what are the angles? Well, there's my pair, right here. So it's going to be sine 45 over 12.7 equals sine theta, I'll call that theta, over 18. Once I have theta, theta equals, multiply the pair, divide the spare, 18 sine 45 over 12.7. So theta, go to my calculator, 18 sine 45 equals that. divided by 12.7 equals that. Now I'm going to be in trouble here because that's more than 1 second sine 1. That gets me 90. Well, if that's 90, that makes this 45, doesn't it? But that makes no sense because these two aren't the same. So this guy must be a little less than 90. So it's actually 89, 46, and 45 degrees. Why did this affect us? Because right here, we did 12.7. If we leave our calculator without clearing it, and you take this number and use it down here instead of 12.7, it works out to 89, 46, and 45. And that's all of it. I'll let you guys have a longer look.